security a day. In every airport, and I try to pretend like it's the first time I've seen it. Oh, how clever. About how stories are written. As much as I like Hannibal Lecter, and as much as I like Darth Vader, it's not satisfying unless the villain gets it in the end. There's just something about it that is not satisfying, and so I had to design my show that Alice got it in the end. You know, he'd either get hung or get his head cut off or something, and then come back. The villain had to come back, and so you knew he was going to come back again.
Cool.
Cool.
Did you? Now, you were telling me earlier that you were close to Vincent Price.
Well, we were very lucky to get Vincent Price. When we did Welcome to My Nightmare, we sat there and we said, we need a voice of the curator of the Spider Museum. Created the Spider Museum in Alice's Nightmare. Who would that be? Who could we get? You know, and we thought, and of course, who's got the most distinctive voice in the business with Vincent Price? And I said, do you think we could get Vincent Price? We gave him a call out of Bob Ezrin and I, and he says, I'll be right over. Really? You know, I mean, honestly, I was starstruck. And I'm like, really? And he came in, and he had so much fun. He says, can I rewrite some of this? And I went, yeah. You know, whatever you want to write in there. I think he did it in 2 takes, the whole thing on Black Widow. And we still use that at the beginning of our show, even right now. But I keep forgetting that we did a video with him in Toronto, a video version of Welcome to My Nightmare. And we shot with him for 4 days. And there's all this lost video that I forgot about that we saw recently where he sings a song. And, you know, I said, where did that come from? I forgot all about that. Of course, I might have been drinking at the time. I might have been drinking. But he was so much fun to work with, and he was exactly what you think. When it came time to being the scary guy, you know, I said, don't be gentle with me. I was on a leash. He had me on this leash walking me through. And he was kind of, I said, no, don't be gentle with me. I said, understand that they're your curator. You're showing me around this, you know, this spider museum, and I'm a victim of yours. So treat me like that. And it was really good. He really came out great.
You know, speaking of Welcome to My Nightmare, I know your most recent release is a sequel, direct sequel. Did you ever think you'd be returning to that evolving mythology? Or?
You know, I started out being a sequel, and then I realized that I didn't really want to make it a sequel. I wanted to make it another nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's turn it into another nightmare instead of trying to pick up where Stephen left off.
Oh yeah.
You know, I said we'll keep Stephen in there because Stephen is always. People always ask me who's Stephen. Stephen is like everybody's little 7-year-old boy that won't grow up, and everybody's got one. You know, you notice what you wear on weekends, guys. You wear baseball hats and shorts and tennis shoes. It's exactly what you wore when you were 7. Same with girls. You know, it's sort of like we will not release that 7-year-old boy. That's why we like going on roller coaster rides. That's why we like scary movies. That's why we like, you know, silly movies, funny movies, because there's a part of us that don't want to grow up. And I think that has a lot to do with the fantasy world. And I hold on to that, okay? I mean, the people that grow up and lose that 7-year-old boy or 7-year-old girl are, you know, it's too bad. It's sort of the end of their life. So, Stephen is that 7-year-old boy. Tim Burton and I are kind of joined at the hips in a lot of ways. When I worked on Dark Shadows with him, we realized that we sat and had dinner one night, Johnny Depp and myself and him, and we talked about what our influences were, and they were all exactly the same influences. I mean, every horror movie I brought up, you know, was something that they were, you know, involved in. Even Dark Shadows was a show that we'd run home from school and turn on and watch to see what was going to happen next. And what a weird idea to do a vampire soap opera in the 70s. You know, that was such a ridiculous, how did that ever get greenlit, you know, to do that? And yet it was the most infectious thing. You couldn't wait to see what was going to happen next. It was really not, vampires were not big then. You know, and it took a while for them to get back into style. So that was really a gamble that really paid off. All of us referred back to that and said, well, let's go back and get that. But let's modernize the whole thing.
Yeah, I was reading in an interview recently in Horror Hound magazine. They said that you had a cut scene where Barnabas looked at you and said, "He's one of us."
Oh yeah, there was a scene where after he watches me perform, Barnabas is looking at me and goes, "Ah, he's one of us." I'm a vampire. Some of the scenes of the movie are really, and Johnny Depp is really funny. Great guitar player, by the way. He came up and played with us 2 or 3 times on stage. The guy's a great guitar player. He can play with anybody. In fact, he's played with Marilyn Manson. He's played with me. He's played with Slash. You know, and he gets on stage. He's kind of very shy. we did a show in London, a place called the 100 Club, that was literally 100 people could fit into. And we got up and everybody was crammed in, and we were just a cover band that night. Whatever song anybody yelled out, we would do. We were not Alice Cooper that night. And I invited him up on stage. I said, we have a great blues player, Johnny D from Kentucky. He had a cowboy hat come up and he started playing, and pretty soon you could see the girls start noticing. They went, Johnny Depp! But he was a great guitarist, and he's sort of like now invited to any time to come and play on tour with us. I told him, I said, if this whole acting thing doesn't work out for you.
Yeah, you've actually been in a lot of movies. Any unusual film experiences? Well, that's kind of a dumb question. I'm sure you're full of them.
Prince of Darkness was interesting because of the fact that I went down there just to watch John Carpenter film. He was filming in downtown LA, and he says, do you want to come down and watch it? I said, sure. And I stood there, and he says, hey, you know what would be great? If you were like one of the zombies, one of the the street people, with like a knit hat on. I went, oh, okay, that'd be great. And then I pan around in there. I said, well, I want somebody will notice. And he says, well, you know what might be good is if you were the leader of the zombies. And I went, okay. I said, what does that mean? He said, oh, just 3 or 4 scenes, that's all. He goes, you know that thing you do with mic stands and a guy on stage? Yeah. I said, you put a bicycle through a guy's chest? Yeah. So, okay, let me do that. And pretty soon I was like in the whole movie. I just went there to watch the movie. And now if you pick up the movie and the thing, I'm on the cover. And I told him, I said, I don't want to get paid. I don't want to get paid. I just wanted to, be a part of a John Carpenter movie. So it was fun. A lot of the other movies, I ended up playing either an Alice part. You play Alice yourself, or you play. I always tell them, make me the school teacher or something. Make me the librarian, or make me something like that. But it was fun to play Suck in Suck, the movie Suck. I got to play a bartender, and I got to be a very bad vampire in that. That was fun. I got to be a really good vampire in that. Rob Zombie films are great because they're if you know Rob, you get the sense of humor in all of Rob's films. And he's such a hillbilly. I mean, he's like, Rob is like my little brother. So we toured together and everything. He's probably my best friend in the whole business. So when I go to see his movies, I go, do you have to swear so much? You don't have to swear that much. Do you really? Okay.
So, also I was reading how you had made a comment that sometimes it's, if you were like playing like a Shakespearean play,
yeah,
they're, either way it's blood and guts. Basically.
Well, when I became Christian, it was one of these things where like my own conflict was, how can I be Christian and be Alice Cooper? How can I be Christian and be Alice Cooper? And it was like a real definite conflict with me. And then I started realizing, people were coming, I don't know about this Alice Cooper thing. And I thought, if I were playing Macbeth, would it be all right? Oh yeah, Macbeth is fine. You read Macbeth? Have you read most of Shakespeare's stuff? Blood and guts and incest and a cult and witches and this. I said, that's fine, right? Oh yeah, it's fine. I said, I'm fine with Alice. Alice will be fine. I think people by now get Alice. They understand. In the very beginning, it was very funny to be Alice Cooper because apparently I was responsible for the Vietnam War, JFK's assassination, I mean, everything you can imagine. People ask me where Hoffa is buried. I don't know. What's going on at Area 51? Why do you think I know that? I don't know. But I think when people finally got, I think if you stick around long enough, you become woven into the fabric of Americana. Same with Ozzy and same with other characters I think that were in the beginning young and dangerous, whereas now we're sort of older and treacherous. Signing autographs. And a guy comes up to me and he hands me a card and he says, "Hi, I'm the vice president of the American Atheist Society. We're trying to get prayer out of schools, we're trying to get this." And I looked at him and I said, "Boy, did you come to the wrong place." You know, I'm Christian, I actually teach Bible studies sometimes. And there was like the guy, it was like a cartoon in Bugs Bunny where the guy turns plaid, blue and green, and I just went, we should really talk. I gotta go.
Hello, Mr. Cooper.
Hi.
My name's Brian. I just want to say thank you. You've been a huge influence on me and on my band and my songwriting.
Oh, thank you.
And I just wanted to know if you brought your clubs and do you want to play on Monday morning?
I agree. I have an addicted personality. I mean, I didn't have any idea that the first time I had a beer, it was going to be one of a million. You know, I haven't had a drink now in 30 years, but I traded alcohol for golf. Right? Now, what people don't understand is I had to be I had to be like a closet golfer. You know, because nobody wanted to know that I played golf. And all of a sudden, slowly, Iggy would say, "No, I play golf." Lou Reed says, "You know, I'm hitting the ball a little bit right." And I'm going, these people that you would never expect to play golf, most metal bands have 3 guys that play golf. Of course, most metal bands also have a Carpenter's album somewhere. We always kind of have that one little nasty secret that nobody knows about. But almost every band I know plays golf now. So you can imagine, Bob Dylan plays golf with Neil Young. I want to be in that force of my band.
Now, it's Bob Dylan who said that you were one of the great underrated songwriters around.
That was really a very nice thing. I didn't even know he knew I existed, you know. I mean, it's one of those things where when you get somebody like a Bob Dylan, John Lennon's favorite song was Elected, you know. Yeah. Because he thought that it was, and that was a great story. He came in, he listened to the song before we released it, and he'd come in the next day and listen to it, and finally on the 3rd day he listened to it, and he walks by and he goes, "Well, great song, Alice, yeah, great record." And I said, "Thanks, Don." And he takes about 2 more steps and he goes, "Paul would have done it better." Yeah. I mean, Paul's going to do everything better than me. I understand that. I said, "But you like the record?" He said, "No, I love the record. It's a great record." You know, because he was very politically motivated, whereas I was looking at the elections as being much funnier. You know, but he got the joke though. But Bob Dylan, it was very nice of Bob Dylan to say that. You know, I think he had heard "Only Women Bleed," and he didn't know that I was capable of writing that kind of song. And so that was that, and 2 or 3 other songs got his attention. I think "Generation Landslide" and things like that.
Yeah.
You know.